Hello, this is Idodmg and welcome back to the channel. In this Swords of Legends online video, I want to talk to you about this brand new MMORPG that released on July 9th, 2021. Swords of Legends is a buy-to-play MMO with no subscription whatsoever. There is also zero pay-to-win. The game does have a cash shop, but it is 100% cosmetics. It's true, and it's absolutely amazing that this is their monetization and pay model. There are three different options when you go to purchase the game. You have a $40 version, a $60 version, and a $100 version. I went with the cheaper version just because I don't really care about all that extra cosmetics. Just to know, and I was talking to NK Wish last night about this, he was contemplating buying the $100 pack, which says it comes with a flying mount, and he was under the impression that he would get it kind of a jump and, get a flying mount earlier on. And you get a flying mount within the first few minutes of gameplay, so don't let that be the deciding factor. There are some pretty cool cosmetics, but hopefully you can make the right choice that's for you. And that's really the point in this video, is to help you decide if this is a game you want to spend your time and money on. So I hope you find the video of value, and I will have the timestamps down below for your convenience. Let's go ahead and talk Swords of Legends Online. Swords of Legends has so many different layers and systems upon systems upon systems, but I'm going to try to clear this up for you so it's easy for you to understand and so you know what to expect from the game. When it comes to leveling and progressing through the game, you're often going to be confused. And for me personally, this was due to translation errors. Swords of Legends has been out in China for 3 years, and being translated over here to the West, there's a lot of translation errors that simply are confusing. But if you're smart enough and you persevere through, trust me, you'll figure it out. You'll be all right. It's just a minor bit of an annoyance. But all of those issues aside, and that's honestly my only real complaint about the game other than server issues day one, which have since gone away. I think it is worth noting that I have 20 hours played in the game, I think more than that by now, and I hit max level, so I really just wanted to share my thoughts on the game with you, and that's what this video is going to be. So as I mentioned, there's layers and layers and layers of just features and things to do in this game. But if you think of leveling and progression like this, it'll hopefully help clear it up for you. When you very first start your character and all the way throughout the leveling process, you're going to be working through levels 1 through 36. These are the beginner levels. It will be beginner 1 through beginner level 36. And think of this as a long tutorial teaching you about all the depth and complexity of the game. Luckily, the game has a feature called the cultivation menu. Up to the left of your minimap in the top right of your screen, you will see this icon here. You can click on it. It'll pop up and it'll really just kind of tell you what to do to help you get through the game. Really abide by this and you'll be all right. Once you hit level 36, you can do a quest to unlock student level 1. That is the current level cap. So alongside the tutorial and the cultivation menu that I briefly talked about, you also have the main story quest, and currently there are 5 regions to quest through and go and explore. And I gotta say, the world and exploration is really impressive and immersive. There was often times that I was out questing and I was just straight up in the zone and I couldn't think about or do anything else other than just bang out those quests, keep killing those monsters. I don't know if it's because the game's so beautiful and bright and flashy or what it is, but there's something there that just kept me going nonstop. On top of the questing and that immersive feel of the world, you also have heroic zone events that are daily and weekly special quests that you can go do to earn prestige, which is basically reputation. If you've played any other MMO, you have different prestige for different things throughout the entire game. And a lot of the stuff on this game too is account wide, like the cash shop I briefly mentioned. The cosmetics are account wide too, except for ones that say they're for a specific gender. But the prestige, I'm pretty sure, is account wide as well. Overall, the world and just the looks of the game, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And I've had no performance issues other than those server issues day one, which they're long gone, long forgotten about. It plays so smooth. It's just buttery smooth, fun to play, and rewarding. And this brings me to the next topic that I would like to talk about very briefly here. And this is the combat, the way the combat system actually works. Swords of Legends has 6 different classes to choose from, ranging from range to melee DPS, healer, tank, Anywhere in between, you have a summoner class. There's 6 different classes, and each class can be 2 different roles or masteries, however you want to think about them. For example, I am playing a summoner. I can play a DPS mastery, or I can play a healer mastery. Now, each of those 2 masteries has 2 different blessings that you can do, which will decide your build. So really, if you think about that, there's 6 classes, and each class can have 4 builds that they can run. I'm planning to do more in-depth guides for Swords of Legends Online in the future, so for this, we're just going to keep it short, sweet, to the point, so you can decide if it's worth your time and money. So that's how the classes and their roles and their masteries all work out. It's worth noting as well that there are different builds that you can do. You can switch out your blessings, and I think I can't remember what they call it, but it's basically a passive tree that you can put points into. And you have 5 different loadout slots that you can switch on the fly. So you have 4 different builds, as I mentioned, and 5 loadout slots. Respecking is not really going to be an issue. It's just so accessible, and I love it. So I guess that was kind of the characters and builds and whatnot. But let's talk about actual combat and actual gameplay. The way it works on Swords of Legends is not super clear when you very first start playing. Once you've progressed far enough through the tutorial, they introduce you to the skill training system, where you go in there and it actually takes you to a separate area, an instance area that you can practice, and it'll teach you how to use your abilities effectively. Because yes, you can get your skills and you can read the broken English tooltips and try to figure out what the heck it means, but if you go into this skill training, it's going to teach you hidden combos that you wouldn't otherwise know about. For example, on my summoner, I have a primary attack and a secondary attack when you start out. That's kind of your starter kit. And my secondary attack is a pretty high damage ability, but if I just hard cast that, it has a cast time. Now, if I attack once with my primary ability, it reduces the cast time of that secondary skill. But if I attack twice with that primary to stack up the cast reduction time, so if I do 2 primaries, my secondary is then an instant cast ability. So it's super, super awesome to just have that kind of muscle memory down to where I double click, instant cast the secondary, and then my other abilities tie in. There's a lot more to the summoner, and as much as I want to go into it right now, that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. But trust me, there's quite a bit there when it comes to your rotation, your actual gameplay, and thinking about what skill to use when and how and what situation and scenario. Love it, dude. I love it. I've probably spent too much time on the target dummy practicing my summoner rotation. There's so many different skills, combos. There's your jumping even has different jumping combos that you can do, and you can combo it in, so you can just take off on your sword, flying mount, and zoom out. Dude, the game's amazing, man. That's pretty much everything just on a surface level that I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm going to be honest, the game for $39.99, if you're looking for an MMO, I definitely recommend it. One last thing that I think is worth mentioning, because I know it'll pop up and it'll be the question about PvP in this game. The first 36 levels up until you unlock that Student 1, it will be a PvE-focused experience with the questing, dungeons, explorations, unlocking all the stuff in the tutorial and doing all that. Once you unlock your Student Level 1, you then have access to PvP. I guess prior to that, you can, find a friend in the world or find someone and duel them and consent to a duel challenge. But for traditional structured PvP, that doesn't unlock until you've hit max level. With that said, I don't have much time with it, but it does exist. And the reason I brought this whole thing up is because the game is really awesome in how it has this set up. You have a PvE set of gear, and then you have PvP gear. Now, your PvE gear you can take to PvP, but a lot of the bonuses are not effective. So you have to actually have separate pieces of gear for those types of activities. And then you also have a third section of the game called Leisure. They have it broken up into those 3 PvE, PvP, and Leisure activities. There's a lot to do. I just hit max level, and I'm going to go do another super long stream, hopefully, and see what all there is to do at max level. So that's my first impressions. That's my initial thoughts on Swords of Legends Online. Pick it up, and if you want to join us in-game, the DMGCREW does have a guild just in-game. Make sure you're on the NA server. Hit the H button. Find the DMGCREW on the list. You can search for it and apply, and we'll accept you because we would love to play the game with you. That's going to be it for this Swords of Legends online video. First impressions, early thoughts, review, whatever you want to call it. I hope you found some sort of value from this video? If so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free. Don't forget to like and comment down below. I love having you guys there to talk to and to share my thoughts on video games. It's my honest, true passion, and without you guys, it absolutely wouldn't be possible. Don't forget, your view alone means the absolute world. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.